Subchapter 4.7 How to use the context analysis matrix. Okay, now that we made our tool, let's make it work. We could see together one example for an interested party, and one for an issue. Internal or external issues, it doesn't really matter. As for the example, we can stick for the cheese factory example we already talked about before. It's easy to stick with one main example and keep using it in different ways, rather than making many different new examples each time. We can start from an interested party. For interested parties, we could make this example: workers. We started with this one because it's always the most relevant interested party you could think of. Making a context analysis in which workers are not considered could be judged very negatively during the third-party audit. In this slide, you can see how this matrix looks when compiled, and we will read it all, step by step. In the first column, we just put workers. Second column, as we said, is description. What could be said about workers in our cheese factory? How many of them? What do they do? What hazards are they exposed to? We wrote that the Jack & Sons factory has 20 workers. 3 are employed in office duties, 15 are employed in the production area, 2 are employed in the warehouse. We also wrote that workers employed in production are exposed to chemical risks and to backstrain risks. Third column is evaluation. How do workers influence the OHS of my cheese company? And most importantly, what are their needs? I think we should say that workers influence directly OHS. Their commitment is needed in order to make everyone follow the procedures. We can't just write procedures and expect them to work by themselves. We need workers to follow them, of course. Also, what are their needs? Workers need PPE and need tools to report unsafe conditions. Finally, relevant, not relevant. Based on what we wrote before, we should state that they are relevant for the OHS in my company. As we said before, we also made an annotations column. In this specific case, I don't think there is a need to use it. Now let's see our second example. We said that we wanted to see an example of an internal-external issue. We will pick this issue: procedures, instructions, guidelines. So in our first column, we have just the title: procedures, instructions, guidelines. As for description, in our cheese factory example, the company is already quality certified, but not yet OHS certified. There are some procedures, but not for everything. So we can write, the company is already certified for quality, ISO 9001, but has no certification for OHS. Most of the processes do not have a written procedure. In the evaluation column, we will write down how this issue could influence OHS. Having a clear set of rules is considered fundamental to guarantee safety in the workplace. Finally, in the relevant, not relevant column, we can write that they are, however, considered a key element to improve OHS. Therefore, we can say they are relevant. One final thought. When you make your own context analysis document, be sure to put in your matrix also some interested parties and some issues that are not relevant. It will make it more complete. You will prove to the auditor that your document covers everything. As for the annotation column, nothing to state here too.